Hey guys, welcome to our GMO research video by Chloe Doucette, Hannah Manai, and Anthony Rubicini. Table of contents. Introduction. Why you should know about GMOs. How is genetic engineering done? Major companies involved in GMO production. Risks revolving around GMOs, and many more. GMOs are an extremely important aspect in society. According to the Center for Food and Safety, quote, about 75% of food in your local grocery store has been genetically modified. GMOs are a threat to the environment, but the impact they have on individuals' health is also unimaginable and could lead to further biological issues. The biotech industry has created a large number of organisms that are not produced by nature. For example, super pigs with human growth genes, fish with cattle growth genes, and tomatoes with flounder genes. These creations are now being released into the food industry and ending up on people's plates. Genetically modified organisms are becoming a fast and growing problem, and a number of studies over the past decade have revealed that genetically engineered foods can pose serious risks to farmers, human health, domestic animals, wildlife, and the environment. Despite these long-term and wide-ranging risks, Congress has yet to pass a single law intended to manage them responsibilities. What are GMOs? GMOs are genetically modified organisms that have been manipulated artificially in a lab using genetic engineering. This genetic engineering creates an unstable variation of bacteria and genes in plants and animals that would not occur in nature. Fortunately, this crossbreed never made it to stores. GMOs can also be engineered to tolerate herbicides and even produce insecticides. Biotech industries have promised that these modifications would lead to an increase in crops, drought tolerance, and enhanced nutrition. Unfortunately, none of the GMOs on the market currently offer any of these traits or any other benefits to consumers. Why you should know about GMOs. Genetically modified foods have been linked to toxic and allergic reactions in lab animals. There has been a study done on lab animals that have shown damage to every organ. Some crops that have been genetically modified have been discovered to produce pesticides within the plant. For example, the Bt cotton plant produces enough pesticide within the plant that it saves the farmers from having to spray pesticides. Pollen from GM crops can contaminate nearby crops from the same type. GMOs have also been linked to being one of the main causes for our declining environment. Major companies involved with GMOs. There are 6 main companies involved with the production of GMOs. They are nicknamed the Big Six. These companies dominate the agricultural input market. These companies include BASF, Bayer, DuPont, Dow Chemical Company, Monsanto, and Syngenta. How is genetic engineering done? Living organisms have natural barriers to protect them from the invasion of other DNA. Genetic engineers have to force other DNA from one organism to another. Methods of genetic engineering. Using viruses or bacteria to infect animal or plant cells with the new DNA. Coating DNA onto small metal pellets and firing it into cells. Injecting DNA into fertilized eggs. Using electric shocks to form holes in sperm, and then forcing the new DNA into these holes. The insertion of a new gene is not done very accurately, which can disrupt the network within the organisms. Risk revolving around GMOs. Many developed nations view GMOs as an unsafe and actually have bans and restrictions on the production and sales of GMOs. Unfortunately, in the US and Canada, GMOs are approved by the biotech companies that create them and profit from them. These companies have been found guilty of hiding toxic effects of GMOs. Genetically modified plants include soybean, corn, cottonseed, and canola. Companies take these plants and crossbreed them with bacteria and viruses that would otherwise never be in the human food supply. The crossbreeding causes mutations to the DNA of the plant. Genes can be deleted and the behavior of these change. Change in the genes can create proteins that cause allergies and diseases. There are many studies that show serious health risks related to GMOs. These studies are unfortunately done on animals, and risks include infertility, immune problems, accelerated aging, or changes in major organs. Advantages to GMOs. GMO products can be tailored to provide better health benefits. There is a possibility of increase in shelf life. There is less land needed in order to grow specific crops. Genetically modified crops can conserve energy, soil, and water. GMOs can save core crops from extinction. Future GMOs could eliminate food allergies or intolerance problems within the body. GMO crops also use less water. Types of genetically modified organisms. Spider genes were inserted into goat DNA in hopes that the goat milk would contain spiderweb protein for the use in bulletproof vests. Cow genes turned pig skins into cow hides. Jellyfish genes lit up pigs' noses in the dark. Arctic fish genes gave tomatoes and strawberries tolerance to frost. Corn engineered with human genes. Sugarcane engineered with human genes as well. Corn engineered with jellyfish genes. Tobacco engineered with lettuce genes. And rice engineered with human genes. This was a study done at the University of Hawaii. A group of scientists injected pigs' embryos with jellyfish genes, resulting in the pigs to glow in the dark under a black light. Environmental impacts. Negative impacts of GMOs on ecosystems are growing at an alarming rate. Because of these creations of GMOs, there is an increased use of herbicides and pollution within our water systems due to runoff of chemicals. One of the most struggling tasks of farming and agricultural use is the process of managing weeds. Recognizing the struggles that farmers face with weed management, scientists developed genetically modified herbicide-tolerant crops so farmers can spray their fields with weed killers without affecting their crop yield. In the past 30 years, developing herbicide-tolerant crops, such as corn, soybean, and cotton, has been the most notable advancement in the crop engineering history. Not only do these types of weed killers damage our health, but the impact they have on the environment is damaging and will lead us to a more damaged environment if we do not seek an alternative ways to handle this and other problems that come along with farming. Also, the increase of pesticides not only contaminates the crops with the poisonous chemicals, but it also makes the crops stronger, and they will adapt to the chemicals. As time increases, corporations are also increasing the amount of chemicals used and making stronger solutions that could severely damage the health of an individual as well as killing the environment. Alternatives to GMO products. Marker-assisted selection, or MAS, increases the gene map for scientists. A gene map is the record of the DNA sequence. This is important because the MAS can point out the differences between GMOs and a normal sequence. MAS can identify new crop varieties with complex properties of crossbreeding programs. It also uses the vast gene pool of any given food crop that retains natural gene order. Conclusion. There are several beneficial factors of having GMOs present in our food industry. The negative effects are more life-threatening and are extremely damaging to our environment. GMOs are a growing problem, but the controversy that comes with GMOs is large and becoming a very big problem within our society and even within our government. Certain types of animal species are becoming extinct or the numbers are decreasing. The toxic chemicals found in herbicides and pesticides are causing pollution of runoff in our streams and waterways. Also, because of these uses of GMOs, our soil used in farming and production is becoming less and less fertile. This is bad for the crops because it is less sustainable and crops are prone to die faster. GMOs play a significant role in our food industry, and information about GMOs are being discovered which will help us use them in a smarter and healthier way.